So hello everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this live session by Drishti IAS. As usual, we will be discussing Indian Express newspaper. We will be discussing some important articles. So these articles are Amaravati, Irrigation and Special Category Status. Okay, so we will be talking about that. We have already talked about it when elections results were announced and government was to be formed. Then at that particular point of time, it was speculations that the particularly Andhra Pradesh, the person who has won from that particular place, that is you can say Mr. Naidu. So there was this speculations that they will demand certain things in return of their support to the NDA. Okay, so right now when we are talking about this particular place Amaravati, you know that this is the capital Andhra Pradesh is trying to develop over there. So that is a visionary project, and then irrigation projects are there and special category status. So these are certain demands which has been put forward by Mr. Naidu. So he will be coming to Delhi and he will be visiting to various ministers in this regard. So that will be there. Then large gap in quantum capabilities. Okay, so we will be talking about the quantum capabilities, and we will be seeing that however India is having its own national quantum mission, but still there are certain gaps when we are comparing ourselves with the other players which are there in the market. Okay, so when we are talking about the USA, UK, you can say China, Germany, South Korea. So when we are talking about such players, okay, so such players are doing better than India. They are spending more than India is doing. Okay, so we'll be talking about that. Then Zika in Maharashtra. We have seen this news wherein there was certain cases of Zika virus in Pune. Okay, so there was this doctor and his daughter. They were you can say infected by Zika virus in Maharashtra's Pune. So basically now there are more cases. So we'll be talking about that. We will be talking about the virus itself as well. Then fate of India UK free trade agreement. Okay, so there was this negotiation which were going on between India and United Kingdoms. You know that right, when we are talking right now, there are elections which are to be held in you can say UK, and we'll be covering that particular topic of elections in news program today itself. Okay, so please keep a tap on that. Otherwise, we will be talking about the free trade agreement, or what can be the impact of you can say if a particular government is making into the power, then what will be the implications on the free trade agreement. Here we will be focusing on the Labour Party. Okay, so we'll be seeing if Labour Party comes to the power, what will be the implications. Now for your own read, there will be one article, and for practice there will be one article. So let's start with the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture. Before that, I would like to tell you that this is the front page of the newspaper. There are 2-3 important articles we will be taking from the newspaper front page. That is, your Sensex 80,000 double in 5 years, and it took 12 to climb from 20,000 to 40,000. We will be seeing what is this 80,000, 20,000, 40,000. Okay, and what is Sensex, what is Nifty, etc. We'll be talking about. Okay, then coming to the second one, Amaravati to irrigation projects armed with wish list, Naidu in Delhi. Okay, so we'll be talking about this article as well. Okay, now let's move to the practice question. Which river is at the center of dispute over the Kala Pani area? Ganga, Brahmaputra, Kali and Susta. So basically when we are talking about the India-Nepal border disputes, or you can say certain area where there is this you can say border concerns. Okay, so that is you can say because of the shift in the river course of Kali river as well as Susta river. But Susta river is in Bihar. Okay, and when we are talking about the Kali river, that is in the vicinity of Uttarakhand. Okay, so when we are talking about this area Kala Pani, okay, so the areas like Kala Pani, Limpiadhura and Lipu Lake, these are the areas which are disputed because of the shift in the Kali river. This river is also known as Sharda river in Nepal, so please remember that. Okay, and when we are talking about this Susta, it is in Bihar. This is the location, and there is also a river water, that is Susta. Okay, now here you can see these are the area, that is Uttarakhand, and here we have these areas in yellow. These are basically conflict area between India and Nepal. From our side, there is no you can say confusion regarding that, because this area belongs to us. That can be traced to the Treaty of Sagoli. Okay, you must have heard about this in the you can say your modern history as well. You can say Anglo-Nepalese war were there. Okay, so that was Treaty of Sagoli, out of which these you can say borders were carved. Okay, they have said that in that particular treaty, the portion which is you can say one side of the Kali river will be of Nepal, and second side of the Kali river which will be from forming India's territory. Okay, so that was there when we are talking about the Kali River, and here you can see this is the area Susta, that is on the India-Nepal border. Okay, and this is in the state of Bihar. Okay, now moving further and starting with the first article, which is related to Amaravati to irrigation projects armed with the wish list. Okay, so they are saying that basically Naidu will be visiting to Delhi, and he will be visiting to Prime Minister, other than that other ministers as well. Okay, in that particular visit he will be talking about certain things, and the thing is their priority is to go for a special category status. But you know that the 14th Finance Commission has recommended that they will not continue with the special category status except for the 11 states, out of which there are 3 hilly states and the 8 of northeastern states. Okay, so that is there, because of which there are high chances that they will not be going for the special category status, but there will be some kind of financial benefits, financial aids which can be given by the central government to this particular state. Okay, now here you will see, after storming in the power, the recently concluded assembly elections, the and the emerging as the second largest NDA constituent in the Lok Sabha, this is the first time Naidu is going to meet union minister, specifically calling for issues related to, you can say, the state. Okay, now with respect to you know that from Andhra Pradesh there was another state, that is Telangana, which has been carved out, and the you can say Hyderabad, which was the capital of the Andhra Pradesh, that was actually came into territory of Telangana, and now Andhra Pradesh is trying to develop another, you can say, capital. And other than that, there is this particular, you know, visionary project, that is Amaravati. Okay, so that is kind of, you can say, the revival of the old city of Amaravati. Okay, so that is one thing. Other than that, there are various irrigation projects on which Mr. Naidu has this vision, so he will be talking about that as well. So here you can say Naidu sought reports on pending irrigation projects, Amaravati capital project, the state of infrastructure including the highways and the roadways, and general report on the financial status of the state before leaving Delhi. Okay, so he will be seeking additional funds, concessions and tax break, particularly if special category status cannot be granted to state. Okay, so here it is given that since if they are not granting the special category status because of the recommendation of the Finance Commission, in that case he will be going for the other things, like that is seeking additional funds, concessions and the tax breaks, and so these are certain things which he will be asking for. Now when we are talking about the, while a special category status for Andhra Pradesh has been long standing demand, Naidu's focus during this trip is likely to pressing for the funds for the projects considered close to his heart, that is Amaravati redevelopment. Okay, so that is one project. Other than that, there are irrigation projects, etc. So here you will see Home Minister Amit Shah, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Health Minister JP Nadda, Agriculture and Rural Development Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Manohar Lal Khattar. So he will be meeting to all of these ministers. Then moving further here, Polavaram National Irrigation Project. So that is an important project. You will go and it will be your homework to search about this particular. It is an irrigation project. Okay. Now it is your job to tell me that on which particular river this particular, you can say, project is. So you can reply me in the comment box. Then moving further, development of Amaravati. So we have talked about that. Now multi-year allocation for the completion of the Polavaram project, expected to fulfill the drinking water demands, irrigation and the power needs of that particular state. Okay. Now central assistance in building Amaravati as a sole capital of Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So that is there. And nearly they are asking for the an allocation of 15,000 crore towards essential infrastructure development. Estimate to construct Amaravati city, the whole project's estimation is somewhere around 1 lakh crore. Okay. Then moving further, there are other infrastructures like Raj Bhavan, High Court, Secretariat, Legislative Assembly, Council and the land development, trunk infrastructure, etc. These are certain things which are part of the Amaravati redevelopment program. Okay. So Polavaram is on which river? That is for you to tell me in the comment box. Other than that, we will be moving further with the next article. Before that, I will tell you what is special category status, what are the benefits, which states are there, okay, and how it was originated and how it was actually you can say removed. Okay. So first let's start with the special category status. When we are talking about special category, that means that certain benefits will be given. Okay, and who requires benefits? Obviously, if there is some kind of socio-economical or the some kind of because of certain reason, if there is backwardness in that particular area, or if they are lacking behind in development, so such places will be given the special category status. Okay, now see, Special category status is a classification given by center. So first thing is that who gives it? Center. Okay, to assist development of state that face geographical and socio-economical disadvantage. Okay, geographical disadvantage, why they have taken? Because obviously when we are talking about the development of infrastructure, geography can be a hurdle. Okay, so ultimately in any way, if there is socio-economic or the geographical development which has been hindered in a particular state, that will be given a special category status. Okay, now there is no mention of such word special category status in the constitution, but afterwards there were this finance commission which was there in 1969. That was the 5th finance commission. Now this 5th finance commission has recommended to come up with the special category status, but afterwards they have actually discontinued it after the recommendation of the 14th finance commission, exception of 11 states is there. Okay, so basically they have said that they will be removing for all the states except for the 11 states, out of which you can say 8 are from northeastern region. Okay, so when we are talking about the 8 states, northeastern states, so you know that there are 7 sisters, then we have Sikkim. Other than that, there are 3 hilly states. One is Jammu and Kashmir, okay, that is basically right now Union Territory. Okay, then we had Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Okay, so 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Okay, so these are the 11 exceptions. Okay, so here you can see Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so these are the 11 states which are right now having exception to this particular you can say thing, whereas it was said that there will be no special category status after the recommendation of 14th Finance Commission. Okay, they have said that whatever there will be a gap in the, you can say, whatever benefits they used to get, they will increase the share of that particular thing. Okay, anyway, I would like to tell you over here is that when it was proposed in 1969 by the 5th Finance Commission, so basically it started with the Jammu and Kashmir, Assam and Nagaland in 1969. Okay, afterwards various states were actually added into it, and then you know that even recent addition was Telangana, but after that since the status was removed for all the states in that particular thing, Telangana's status was also removed. Okay, so what are the parameters? There is this Gargill formula. Based on this Gargill formula, there is this certain specifications which are given, like hilly terrain, that is the geographical thing, then low population density or the sizable share of the tribal population, that is related to your socio-economic parameters, strategic location along the borders with the neighboring countries, that is also socio-economic as well as geographical. Okay, then economic and infrastructure backwardness, that is related to your socio-economic backwardness, then non-viable nature of the state finance. Okay, economic backwardness if there are lack of resources in the with the state. Okay, so that is about it. Now here you will see what are the benefits. Okay, so mostly these benefits are like financial benefits. Here you can say center pays 90% of the funds required in the centrally sponsored schemes. When we are talking about the other you can say states, they have to pay for nearly 60 to 75%. Okay, sometimes you must have seen that the ratio of sharing between the state and center is 60:40. Okay, and for the you can say northeastern and hilly regions, we have 90:10. So that is because of this particular reason. Okay, now moving further, unspent money in a financial year does not lapse. Okay, this money will not lapse. There will be a fund that in that particular thing that will stay, and in the new year there will be new funding. Okay, now significant concessions are provided to these states in excise, customs, income tax, corporate tax, etc. Okay, so they are having benefits in the tax as well. Now 30% of the center's gross budget goes to the special category status. Okay, so these were the financial benefits which were there with them. Now what are the concerns regarding the special category status? Obviously one thing is that there will be pressure on the center, they have to provide for the money, that is one thing. Then second thing is it leads to demand from the other states too. So let's say there are certain states which has been given, like 11 states are there which has been given this special category status, and after that states like Bihar, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh, they are also asking for such status. So there can be a competition with respect to that as well. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now moving further to the next article, large gap to bridge in quantum capabilities. That is, there is this report that has been put forward by Itihas. Okay, So that is a non-profit organization which has come up with the report. We don't have to remember the name of that particular organization. What we have to see is that there are certain observations which has been made by this particular report. So let's talk about that. Launching of a 6,000 crore rupees national quantum mission to develop some of the most sought technologies for the future, but have to overcome a significantly large gap that currently exists between the capabilities and that of other leading countries in the area, like that is USA, China, and other than that there are various other potential, you can say, players. Okay, so basically what they are saying, that despite having a national you can say this quantum mission, okay, so and we are spending nearly 6,000 crore rupees. Okay, despite that, India is having a huge gap between the amount which we are spending on the R&D in the, you can say, quantum computing, etc. Because when we are talking about the countries like China, USA, etc., they are basically spending way more over there. When we are talking about this particular number, that is 6,000 crore, that amounts to rupees, sorry, 0.75 billion US dollar. Okay, so that is the kind of amount which we are spending. Okay, and when we are talking about the other countries, they are spending amount, that is, here you can say for China, that is 15 billion. Okay, then for United Kingdom it is 4.3 billion, United States is 3.75 billion, Germany is spending 3.3 billion, South Korea is spending 2.35 billion. Okay, now the thing is, when we are talking about any kind of you can say changes in the database management or the software industry, etc. Other than that, also for various kind of simulations, this quantum computing is quite promising technology. When we are talking about other emerging technologies as well, so spending on the R&D becomes very much important. Okay, so considering the other players over here, we are spending only this much. Okay, so there is a huge gap which has to be fulfilled when we are talking about the spending which we are doing on the quantum computing and the related R&D. Okay, so that is there. Here you will see India was just among the 17 countries who have a dedicated government program to back research in quantum technologies. Okay, because here you can see this national quantum mission, we have a dedicated program for quantum computing. Okay, after that, one of the 12 have to committed one of the 12 to have committed separate in investment for the purpose. Okay, so basically for that we have separate investment, that is 6,000 crores. So that is also, there are only 12 countries which are having such, you can say, initiative. Okay, after that, several countries were much ahead of India, not just in terms of committed funding for the research and development, but also in their current capabilities. Okay, so these are certain gaps which we can see and which we have to fulfill in the upcoming time. Now India was far behind the United States and China in terms of patent obtained in the quantum technology till now, and in publication of the top journals. So basically we are not getting published. Okay, getting published means that you are getting a patent of your, you can say, whatever research you have done. Okay, so basically in India we don't have that kind of scholarly research when we are talking about the quantum computing. Now quantum technology exploits the extremely wired and counterintuitive but very special nonetheless property of the subatomic particles like an electron to develop processes, devices with capabilities and efficiencies that are impossible to achieve with the classical and the non-quantum computers. So basically what they are saying, that quantum computing or the quantum mechanics is altogether a science which is actually dealing with the subatomic level of interactions which are happening. Okay, now with that kind of interactions, and if we employ it and the in any calculation device or any kind of device making etc., so it will be more efficient, more fast. Okay, why? Because when we are talking about the traditional computers, what happens is that computers work work in bits, that is 0 or 1. Okay, either it will be on or off. Okay, so that is basically 0 and 1, that is you can say that computer is basically binary. Okay, and it operates in bits. Okay, when we are talking about the quantum computer, they are basically, you can say, that is not binary, because they will have 0, they will have 1, and at one particular point of time or at any point of time they might exist together. Okay, both. So because of this particular thing, there are more, you can say, variables, because of which there are more possibilities. Okay, so that is why it becomes faster. Okay, and this operates in qubits. Okay, So that is about this is the how quantum mechanics is faster, because they work in various possibilities. There are various permutation and combination possible when we are talking about 1, 2 and 3 these qubits. Now when we are talking about the binary or traditional computers, these are working on the binary concept, that is 0 or 1. Okay, now let's talk about what is national quantum mission. We will also talk about what is quantum computing. Okay, now national quantum mission that aims to put India amongst the top 6 leading nations involved in research and development in the quantum technology. Okay, and these are USA, Canada, France, Finland, China and Australia. Okay, sorry, this is not Australia, this is Austria. So please don't get confused like me, because you have to write an exam. Okay, so that is there. Now duration will be from 2023-24 to 2030-31. That is there. Nodal ministry will be the Ministry of Science and Technology. Now highlights of the mission: there will be 4 thematic hubs, that is T hubs, in different domains across the country. Wide scale application ranging from health, diagnostics, defense, energy, data security. These are the area where you can go for the use of quantum mechanics, quantum technology. Okay, then strengthening the indigenously building quantum based computers. Okay, now you know that there are various supercomputers, etc. Okay, when there was this traditional computer and after that supercomputers came, then there was a revolution, because obviously these supercomputers were way faster. Okay, now quantum computers are even more faster, so that is why we are trying to develop our own quantum computers, help develop magnetometers with high sensitivity in atomic systems and atomic clocks, then support design and the synthesis of the quantum materials. All these things are, you don't have to go into details of all these things, just know that that can be done. Okay, a huge boost to the national priorities like Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Stand Up India, Startup India, Self-Reliant India and SDG, etc. So that is there. So this is basically goal of the national quantum mission, or in simple words you can say that we are trying to go for more R&D in the quantum computing, and then we are trying to develop our own capabilities with respect to quantum computing. Why? Because when we are talking about this whole processing of data, the you can say various applications running, simulations running, in that you require a huge computing capabilities. Okay, but when we are talking about the small startups or the new companies which are rising, so these does not have such kind of investment to go for building their own quantum computers. Okay, so what government is trying to do is that they will be creating you can say these big computers or the quantum computers with their own, you can say maybe government resources or from the private sector's help. They will go for this, and then they will actually rent these services to the smaller startups. So basically they do not have to worry for the, you can say, investment for the computer. They will have to pay a small rent, and in return of that, government will provide you these quantum computing services. Okay, so that is the whole idea behind it. Now moving further, we will be moving to the part where quantum computing we will discuss. Sir, defense aspirant can watch this. Yes, absolutely. This is a discussion of the newspaper, so obviously you can watch it. It will help you anyway. Okay, now quantum technology works by the principle of quantum mechanics, which we have already talked. Now when we are talking about the quantum mechanics principle, you know that what happens is that at the, you can say, very subatomic level, there when we are talking about the matter and you can say these subatomic particles, they basically behave in a certain different way. Okay, generally if we are talking about a matter, or let's say this table is there, so basically this is solid right now. Okay, so when we are saying that it is a matter, okay, or it is in the form of a particle. Now then when we are talking about the, you can say these same matter acting as a wave, okay, or a energy, so basically we can say that at very, you can say, subatomic levels, so there are chances that the a particular thing can be behaving as a matter as well as a wave or the energy. So this is the basically principle of your quantum mechanics, and it is happening at a very, very small scale. Okay, now the physics of subatomic particles, including quantum entanglement and the quantum superimposition. Okay, when we are talking about the quantum superimposition, that is not very much important for you. Just know that as I told you, when we see the traditional computers, they work on 0 and 1, that is your bits, and when we are talking about these supercomputers, etc., they work on 0, 1 or both. Okay, so these qubits are there, and that is basically acting as 0, 1 or both at the same time. That is basically is your superimposition. Okay, so that is there. After that, here we will see it create practically infinite range of possibilities. Okay, earlier there was only 2 options like 0, 1 and both. Now when we are talking about this particular thing, when we are talking about the quantum computers, there is 0, 1 and both possibilities. Now with the scale, these possibilities can change. This both how much superimposition is there will decide the possibility, and because of which there are infinite possibilities which can be created. Okay, so that is about the superimposition. Then there is this quantum entanglement. Okay, so like when we are talking about this qubits. Okay, so if there is, let's say, a pair or two member of a pair, that is qubits, exist in a single quantum state. Okay, so basically there are two particle or the qubits which are having a single quantum state. That means that either there will be 0 0 or 1 1 like that. Okay, so they are having the same quantum state, and if you are changing the quantum state of one, that will change the quantum state of second one as well. Okay, so these are basically nothing but the pairs. Okay, pairs of the qubits. If it is 1, it will be 1. If you change the state of this to 0, it will be 0. Okay, so that is what the quantum entanglement is, that both of them are entangled together. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now there are various applications: quantum key distribution, quantum networks, quantum simulators, quantum cryptography, etc., etc. So you can read it out. Okay, now we can move further to the next article. Maharashtra Zika case, center asks state to be vigilant, focus testing pregnant woman, fetus, etc. Okay, now why is that becoming a issue right now? Because recently in Pune there was this case wherein a doctor and his daughter, they were infected by Zika, and now this particular infection has spreading over there, and right now there are 8 cases of Zika which has been found in Maharashtra. Okay, now Zika infection being reported from Maharashtra, the Center's Director General of Health Services on Wednesday asked state to focus on the screening of pregnant women for the virus and monitor the growth of the fetuses. Okay, now the most people infected with the Zika, they does not experience any kind of symptoms. Okay, because of various reasons there are no you can say symptoms which are visible in the initial stage, and if you are going for the severe stages, then you will find out that there are very simple like fever, cough, such you can say symptoms will be there. So that is why Zika becomes even more dangerous, because for the most of the time you will not even identify the symptoms because there are not visible symptoms. Okay, then if we are talking about the very severe case, you will be finding fever, rash, headaches, joint and muscle pains, etc. And when we are talking about the pregnant ladies, okay, that it is even more you can say dangerous for the pregnant ladies, because there is another condition. Okay, that condition is known as the microcephaly. Okay, microcephaly. When we are talking about this particular you can say condition, what happens is that the fetus inside the womb of the woman, it will not grow the size or you can say to the normal side of the brain. Or okay, so basically if there is a particular size for the human to that is to be normal, this particular in this particular condition, that is microcephaly, in that particular condition the size of the brain will be smaller. Okay, so that is there. Now sorry, not the brain but the head, the outer you can say. Okay, so microcephaly is a condition where a baby's head is smaller than the expected because their brain does not develop fully. Okay, there has been no case of microcephaly since 2016 in our country. Okay, so basically this is a condition where the size of the head will be smaller because their brain has not developed fully. Okay, so that can happen because of the Zika virus as well. Now testing facilities for the Zika, there are there in the National Institute of Virology in Pune, National Center for Disease Control in Delhi, and other institutions are there for the you can say diagnosis of this thing. Now this infection is transmitted by a particular kind of mosquito, that is Aedes aegypti. Okay, so please remember that particular name, Aedes aegypti. And when we are talking about the states have also been asked to intensify mosquito control programs. Aedes aegypti mosquito breed into clean water, stagnant water, and when we are talking about the monsoon, it will give them the opportunity to breed faster. Okay, now advisory, when we are talking about the hospitals, they have been advised and the health facilities and the hospital has been advised to appoint a nodal person to ensure that such you can say breeding of these mosquitoes does not happen inside the hospitals. Okay, so I hope that is clear. There was nothing more to discuss, only two things. One is that these Zika cases which are recently we have seen in you can say Maharashtra. Other than that, when we are talking about the what is the transmitter or the carrier of this particular disease, that is aegypti. Okay, other than that, there is this condition, that is microcephaly. So you can say remember about that as well. Now the Zika virus named after the Zika forest in Uganda. So that is important for you, please remember that. Okay, where it was first discovered in the 1947. And when we are talking about the outbreak, you can say first human outbreak, that has happened in 1952. So first case of your Zika virus was found in 1952. When we are talking about an epidemic, okay, the whole area has been impacted by that particular disease, that has happened in Brazil 2015. Okay, I hope that is clear. That is 2015. Now moving further, there are other information. Zika virus disease is caused by a virus from the flavivirus genus. Okay, so that is also important for you. Zika virus mostly transmitted through a bite of infected Aedes mosquito or the Aedes aegypti mosquito, Aedes albopictus mosquito. Okay, so these are from the same genus, so that is why mostly it will be because of the infected Aedes aegypti. Otherwise this particular mosquito can also cause this issue. Okay, and these are having from the same family, wherein you can see dengue and yellow fever as well because of these viruses. Okay, it can cause microcephaly in newborns, which means that their head is smaller than normal because their brain could not, you can say, develop fully. Now next is Guillain-Barré syndrome. Now this particular condition is a, you can say, condition which is impacting the nerves. Okay, here you will see Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare nerve disorder that causes muscle weakness and the paralysis. So basically when we are talking about the Guillain-Barré, that is a rare disease. Okay, so please remember that, and this can happen because of this particular Zika virus as well. Okay, now moving further to the next article. Sensex 80,000 double in 5 years, took 12 to climb from 20 to 40,000. Okay, now when we are talking about these numbers, so this is an indicator that how market is performing. If this is increasing, that is market is going upwards, and when we are talking about it is discussing that decreasing, that means that market is going down. Okay, now they are saying that it took nearly 5 years to double. Okay, took 12 to climb from 20 to 40,000. Okay, so from the mark of 20,000 to 40,000 it took 12 years, and for the mark of 40,000 to 80,000 it took 5 years. Okay, then when we are talking about the, you can say, 10 to 20,000, okay, at that point of time it took nearly 1.9 years, that is 2 years. Okay, so that is about this particular article here. Nothing much was there. I just took it because just to tell you that how market is performing. And now we will be talking about what is Sensex itself, what is Nifty, and how they are different. Okay, so a month after the Lok Sabha election results were declared, BSC, Bombay Stock Exchange, 30 share Sensex crossed 80,000 mark for the first time on Wednesday during the intraday trades. Okay, 7 months or the 139 session to add 10,000 points, and after it surpasses 70,000 level on December 2023. Okay, so just the thing is that initially it took a lot of time. Okay, and after that it was like recently it took 40 to reach the another 40,000. It has taken nearly 5 years. Okay, so now here you can see from the 10,000 mark to 20,000 it took nearly 2 years, 20,000 to 40,000 it took 12 years, and now for 40,000 to 80,000 it took 5 years. Okay, so that is you can say the speed of Sensex. Right now here you can see what is Nifty and what is Sensex. Okay, when we are talking about Nifty, it stands for the Nifty stands for the National 50. Okay, so here there are 50 such companies which has been included, or 50 stocks which has been included in that. Then when we are talking about this Sensex, that is sensitive index. Okay, and here there are 30 stocks. Okay, so that is there, meaning Nifty is an index of top 50 companies traded on the National Stock Exchange. Okay, so you can remember that is on the National Stock Exchange. And then when we are talking about the National Stock Exchange, that is in New Delhi. Okay, and then when we talk about this Bombay Stock Exchange, which has been dealing in the Sensex, that is basically in Mumbai. Okay, I told you this is 50 stocks and this is 30 stock. And then when we are talking about the NSE, is situated in New Delhi and it is in Mumbai. It started in 1995 and it was started in 1986. Okay, so that is the difference between Nifty and Sensex. Okay, so now we can move further to the next article. What Labour's win could mean for India UK FTA. Okay, so basically they are saying that the if the Labour Party in you can say UK, they wins the election, what will be the impact on the talks, which is UK FTA or United Kingdom Free Trade Agreement, India United Kingdom Free Trade Agreement. Okay, So when we are talking about this particular party, or you can say that right now elections will be 4th of July was the date for the elections. So we will be talking about that in the in news program. So please keep a tab on that in news on our channel. Okay. Now the New Delhi and the London have been negotiating a proposed free trade agreement for more than 2 years to boost trade between the two nations. Okay, free trade agreement means that the not necessarily the zero duty, but the thing is duties will be dropped on a very many items, and there are certain items which will have no duty at all as well. Okay, so that is there. Now moving further, here you will see the mutual tariff relaxation on the range of goods such as car, clothes, alcoholic beverages, medical instruments, etc. A landslide victory for the Labour Party in UK election could lead to a change in the dynamic of the free trade agreement negotiations. Okay, now here we will be talking about the policy certainty plus. Okay, because obviously if there is you can predict the policy, that is a useful thing. Okay, so here you will see, since UK unexpectedly voted in a referendum to leave the European Union, that is, that Brexit was there, London has has not seen the kind of political stability for a deal with the India. Okay, so after that Brexit happened, so there was various changes in the policy, and that is why that point of time we can say that there was no stability in the policy. But now if the Labour Party wins comfortably, there might finally be enough political leg room to sign a deal with India. Okay, since Brexit, you can say the majority of the trade deals signed by the UK has been rolled over agreements. Okay, that resemble the deals that London previously had with the EU members. Okay, so basically what has happened over here, earlier we used to deal with UK as a part of European Union. Okay, after that there was this Brexit, and because of Brexit UK has left the European Union, and they have gone for the rollover agreements, that is, you can say one-to-one agreements. Okay, and that can be renewed after some particular time which was given in that. So these rollover agreement or the single bilateral agreements were there with the other European nations with the UK. Now similarly we also had certain agreements with UK. Now we are trying to go for the free trade agreement. Okay, so that is one thing. Not an anti-India Labour Party. When we are talking about the Labour Party or the earlier leader in the Labour Party, this has certain issues with certain particular programs. But the thing is, right now when we are talking about the Labour Party under Keir Starmer, you can say the Labour Party has changed. It is not the same party as headed by his predecessor, that is Jeremy Corbyn, who called for an international intervention in Kashmir. Okay, so that is point of contention which was there with respect to the Labour Party. Okay, but recently there is no such thing as of now. Okay, the growing political clout of the UK's Indian origin population, the largest immigrant group in the country, has tried to stamp out anti-India sentiment within his party. So basically there are various diaspora which are living over there. There are various you can say their citizens which are of the Indian origin. Now their political clout has increased over there, their influence has increased, and because of which now there are these anti-India sentiments or the issues with respect to the intervention in Jammu and Kashmir. Such issues has not been there in the current party which is under Keir Starmer. Okay, now moving further, under the Starmer, it is confident of having clinched its rank by members with the extremist view on India. Okay, so basically he has not gone with any kind of interaction with the people or the organizations which are having any kind of extremist views on India. Okay, Labour has even raised questions regarding the Tories' delay. Okay, now this is something when we are talking about the FDA free trade agreement related proceedings, there was delay, and they have actually you can say criticized this particular delay, that why should be such delay with going for the partnership with India. But now if their government comes, so definitely there will be a free trade agreement which has to be inside. Okay, a visa likely striking point. When we are talking about UK, there is a bipartisan support to the issues of the migration. Okay, now when we are talking about the immigration, UK is facing a lot of incoming, or you can say in migration from various areas. Okay, and that is why there are a lot of pressure on their resources, and that so bipartisan support is there for the policies which are related to the limited migration. Okay, so when we are talking about the visas, so that can be a contentious point between India and UK in this particular regime of Labour Party if they come to power. Okay, Then moving further, in New Delhi is seeking temporary visa for service sector workforce under the FTA. Now, when we are talking about the FTA free trade agreement itself, there are various, you can say, sections. One of them is that we are actually asking for a temporary visa from UK for the service professional. Now the thing is, UK is also providing services. Okay, so UK is not very welcoming about this particular thought. Okay, so that is there. UK being a powerhouse in the IT and the financial services segment, India's service sector could benefit from the integration. Okay, now what we are thinking is that this integration would help us because they are having a powerhouse, or you can say they are having a boom in the service economy. So our personal or our employees can go there and they can earn that, and there can be a benefit from the integration. Now, to get tougher negotiation on the climate, when we are talking about the UK, you know that there is this carbon tax which has been imposed, and that is why, because our export can be hindered because of that. So that is also one area of contention between you can say UK and India. So that is there, which we have already talked about. Now this is about this particular article. When we are talking about this particular Labour Party, there can be stability in the policy making. Other than that, this party is not having any anti-India sentiments, so that is also a plus point. There can be two issues in the FTA when we are talking about. One is related to your carbon tax, second is related to your visa. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now we can move further to the next part. That is basically for your own read. That is hormones control mosquitoes attraction to blood. There is a study, you can go through this particular thing. Now why we are going for this particular study? Because recently there was this Zika virus which is there in India. Other than that also there are certain studies which has been done on various virus of malaria, dengue, West Nile, okay, yellow fever, Zika we have talked about. Then there is chikungunya. Okay, so all these are viruses. Sorry, when we are talking about all these diseases, there are viruses behind them, and ultimately they are having this transmission source, that is infected mosquitoes. And there is certain relations which has been basically found by this study, that hormones control the mosquito attraction to the blood. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now last part, that is your practice question. So here you can see, what is the primary mosquito vector responsible for transmitting Zika virus? Okay, Aedes aegypti, then Anopheles gambiae, Culex pipiens, and Culiceta melanura. Okay, melanura. Okay, so these names are quite difficult, but mostly they won't ask you such names in the examination until unless that is familiar. Okay, but anyway, just remember these things. So you have to find out which one is the, you can say, carrier when we are talking about the Zika virus. Okay, so you can attempt this question and reply in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave, and if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Have a nice day. Thank you.